Hello, everybody out there in Keepland. Keep moving on, keep moving forward. Um, we had a question recently come up, and it was more question comment sharing about campaign merge fields. And I thought I'd just shoot a blog, a little video blog about what they are and how they're used, because we find that there's a mixed pot of awareness when it comes to campaign merge fields. There are those that, if they hear about campaign merge fields, believe that they might be the same as contact merge fields. There are those who have never heard the term. There are those that are well aware of campaign merge fields, but probably don't use them because they're not sure of how to. So I'm going to cover all that. And let's start out just by explaining what a campaign merge field is. By saying, first of all, what a campaign merge field is not. It is not a contact merge field. So in contact records, you can have custom fields that are specific to that specific contact record. And that information, for example, the contact's company address or their position, you could store in custom fields, or when that individual within a company or an organization, or just as a contact, what the date and time they schedule an appointment is, their next appointment, or any other information you want. They have a limit of 100 fields for the contact records, so there's a limit on them. I do not know if campaign merge fields have them, but the difference here is that a campaign merge field is in the context or the scope of a campaign. It is not applied to a contact, but rather is relevant to the campaign itself. So if you were to go out of here, for example, I have campaign merge fields in here. If you were to go out of this campaign and go to a different campaign, that would have different merge fields, campaign merge fields relevant to that campaign. So why use that? Why is that important? Well, if you design campaigns, and especially if you think and plan it out ahead of time, you'll find that you can repeat the same activities and actually make copies of campaigns and use them, especially if you're in a business space or a model where you are copying the same process, but some of the details might change. And rather than going into all of your emails and changing some of the text that would be relevant to the client specific to using that copied campaign, you can use a campaign merge field in all of those emails. There are really 100 places or more that you could use them, whether it be providing notes on a record. You can use a campaign merge field for that. You can use it to build a URL, and so if you're in a case where URLs might change based on the contact relevance of the contact or the client that's using the campaign, so you copy the campaign and the URL may be different, you can actually use a merge field to represent the base URL, and therefore not have to repeat it all over again. So what happens is you could have 100 emails with the same piece of information in it. And if you want to go back and edit all of those emails to change that piece of information to be relevant to the new customer that you're serving, you can do that. But it's so much easier just to use a campaign merge field in all of those places. So basically, a rule of thumb might be to if you're going to have the same information throughout your emails or throughout notes that you create, even tasks in some cases, things like that, then you might want to consider using a campaign merge field, because if you're going to do it more than 3 times, I would say in a campaign, then it might be worth using the merge field for, because you only have to change it in one place when you use merge field. So as you can see on the screen here, I have an example, and there's an email in each of these that's identical, except that this one does not use campaign merge fields. This one does. So allow me first to show us how we're going to do this. So you go down, if you go to hover over inside of any campaign, the actions button, and you click on the merge fields. You'll see I already have some here. I'll go ahead and make another one just for a test example. And it's real simple. Of course, you need the name and the value. So testing CV merge fields and test value. And as you can see, I've done this with a number of other ones. And then you click the save button, the little disc here. And I have some for domain name, for email preferences center. Anybody who's had to go in and edit a page knows that these can change. So if you use a merge field, campaign merge field for that, I'll show you that in the email how I use it. Social media pages can change. They don't happen a lot, but when it does happen, if you have to make a lot of changes to a lot of emails or notes or what have you, that can be different. You could have support on your website, but then you transition to something to a third-party service for support, and you would have to change the URL for that, for example. And there are 100 other examples, but these are just some ways just to show the use of it. And any value, basically, again, that you repeat more than 3 times, I would suggest at least considering using a campaign merge field for. So let's look at how they're used. First, we'll go into the example with no campaign builder merge fields in them. So this is an email, and I know that the campaign isn't complete. This is just for demonstration purposes. But this is an email that is very basic and simple. It would be like an opening email after somebody opts in or double opts in, and you want to just let them know what their resources are. So I say, hello, Acme Marketing, and right here, if I do a lot of emails that have to do with a custom field, maybe, you can use a company name, and that would be most appropriate in most cases. But there are cases where you have special cases where you might want to reference the department specifically within a company or something like that. Campaign merge field might help you do that. So I left this one as is at Acme Marketing, but these ones down here, our blog support, our social media support page, and the email preferences center that I created, all have campaign merge fields in the next example. So just to review, you can have a blog page on your website, you could have support, and these would be perfectly correct to provide these URLs, hard-coded as we call it. And there would be nothing wrong with that until you have to change it. And if you have a campaign, especially a more detailed, complicated campaign, and you have to go in and change all of these, you will know what I mean. And I'm sure anybody who's been around a while has had some similar experience on one level or another. Social media support pages, same thing. And of course, as I mentioned, you have unsubscribe, but you also can have an email preferences center. If this page ID changes, then of course you would have to go through and change all your emails if you indeed had this at the bottom of every email right above your unsubscribe button. So now let's go ahead back and let's see. And remember, these campaign merge fields, we'll take one more quick look at them. They all have the same information. Okay, so say support as support.keefconnect.com. If that ever changed, and I used the campaign merge field, wherever I use the campaign merge field, I only have to change it here. This is the benefit and the power of using campaign merge fields. So I could edit it, I could change it to whatever it is. So if I'm using any of the support forums out there that you might have used as a service now, whereas before you had it on your website, then you could change it just right here. And every place that campaign merge field is used, that will be updated and use the new value, and it will save you so much time. So an example of doing that is this is identically the same email, but it is using the campaign merge fields. So as you can see, campaign.blog_6, campaign.support_8, and the way that you do that is I will delete this. This is our blog one. So if wherever I put the cursor, just like any other merge field, but you go down to campaign merge fields, wherever I put the cursor, it's going to use the one that I have named. So I have the blog campaign merge field named blog appropriately. So I do that, and there you go. And I just got locked out. You jerks. So anyways, you saw enough, and I will reshoot this if Infusionsoft can ever get this stuff fixed, because for whatever reason, we are having problems with being logged out, and lately probably due because of the name change. So as you can see, this is just, I know it's a temporary deal because Infusionsoft doing some updates to fix a few things as they've happened. So I will go back in here real quick and just to have the final recap, campaign merge fields. So as you can see, as you will see in a moment, the campaign.blog6 merge field is where that happens, and that value that I change in the campaign merge field section will be outputted here. And so when an email is sent, that value will be sent. So again, imagine you have 100 emails, or in a campaign. Obviously, that's an exaggeration, but we've all worked on campaigns, I'm sure, that had quite a number of emails, and changing all of the values in every email just is not a realistic thing to do. So again, if you plan on using a value, or there's information that you're repeating over and over again, and just keep it in the back of your mind. Would a campaign merge field here save me trouble? Even when you edit landing pages, and this is the email preferences center that I use as an example. Even when you edit landing pages, if you make changes or have to adjust it, then the value could change when you publish it. And if that happens, then of course you don't want to have to go through every email and change that, especially with something like an email preferences center. So you could just, in that case, if you had to update it, you change it. You just simply come here and say, copy that, and I'm going to go here, and I am going to change my email preferences center campaign merge field value. So I go here to the merge fields, I say email preferences center, I edit that, I simply highlight and paste that value in there, and make sure I save it, of course. And there, any place and in every email that I use that email preferences center link, it's been changed, all with one fell swoop. So I hope that clears up what campaign merge fields are, what their value is, and how they can really save you a whole lot of time and trouble.